Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, welcome back. It's your girl Devyni here, Devyni Styles. Thanks so much for coming back after the break. I'm gonna start off with a few announcements just to make sure you guys know what's going on today. First off, we want you to share your thoughts. We want you to drop any comments, questions in the chat today. We want you to feel like this is an interactive experience because it is. Just because it's virtual doesn't mean you can't chat with us, ask us questions. We want you to be fully engaged. Also, we want you to show us your stuff. I am all about style and fashion, and I got my look together today, and I want to see yours. So I want you guys to snap any selfies or show us what you're working with today with the hashtag BLK Room FX. Again, hashtag BLK Room FX, and make sure you tag the Black Room Project. So we want to see you strut your stuff today. It is a fashion event, so it's about your style and your look. So make sure you guys do that for me. We want to give a special thanks to our vendors today, DTLR and N1. Make sure you guys check them out in the vendor booths today. They'll be there live chatting with you, answering any questions. Also, it's happening right now. We want you guys to jump into the 7 minutes in style heaven with Luis. He's going to be giving you some one-on-one style chat with a professional stylist. So he'll be there from 4 to 5, and you can ask him any question you want. We want you to dive right in with that. Also, last but not least, check out your black bag. We did not forget about the swag today. Every time I visit a fashion experience or a fashion event, I always grab the swag bag, and we didn't forget about that today, you guys. So make sure you click the icon in the bottom of your screen, click on the black bag to tap into all of the special goodies and the vendors that are here today and have given you guys some great things in your swag bag. So now we are about to jump into a conversation with a really fabulous woman here. We've got Jamie from Fabric to Finish. How are you, Jamie?
I am great. How are you doing today, Devyni?
I'm doing really good. I'm super excited to chat with you today. I can't wait to dive into these questions to get everybody some info. She's got her dog here.
I apologize. I got a visitor here who is. Give me a half a second. She's trying to be brought on. I apologize.
Okay. It's okay.
I got a senior dog, and she is just, she's doing her thing. Sorry, I think she was trying to get into that model walk audition that just happened. So she's a little upset about that. Yeah.
She wanted to show her stuff too.
And so sorry. She'll bark if I don't hold her. I apologize.
No, it's okay. We're going to have our fab pup here in on the fabulous conversation.
Getting her hair done on Monday. So sorry for the overgrown shag, but it's all good. It's pandemic.
It's okay.
Pandemic.
It's okay. So. We love it. Yeah. So we're going to hop right in with a game called This or That. So basically it's a quick, fast, like spitfire. Just kind of give me your first thought, which one you choose out of the two choices. All right, so we get started. First one is fast fashion or thrifting?
Thrifting.
100%. She answered that quickly. Yes, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Vintage thrifting today, in fact.
Yes. We talked about her fabulous top. All right, so next one is which one do you prefer? Online shopping or in-store shopping?
That's a tough one. I run product and design for a living. I got to touch it to love it. So I'm still old-fashioned in person. Yep.
I agree. I'm the same way. I got to touch it. I got to try it on, feel it against my skin.
Yeah.
Okay, so last one, we were all stuck in quarantine, so we've shifted, but while working from home, which do you prefer? Do you prefer loungewear or are you in your PJs?
Well, you know what? I would say loungewear, but I'm the exception of the rule. I've been going into the office for quite some time, so I'm setting it up. So I'm getting out, putting on the makeup and jeans, I'm keeping it cash, but business on the top, party on the bottom. That's all it is.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I want you to start off by just kind of introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about who Jamie is.
Absolutely. And again, I apologize for this interruption with my old pooch. I am the founder of Fabric to Finish. We're in our 15th year, and we are the go-to source for anything startup fashion. So people that have a great idea, that are not from the industry. They don't have access to design, development, sourcing, fabric production, distribution. We are the go-to source. So we handle everything from fabric to finish and anything more outside of that. Still to be determined. We're still expanding.
Perfect. So cool. So can you tell us a little bit about why you created Fabric to Finish?
Absolutely. So I apologize. This is so awful that this is happening, that I have a senile dog who's about to go crazy. I founded Fabric to Finish because I saw a need for startup fashion in the market. And I had worked for all of the major players in the industry, from Tommy to J. Crew to Sean John to DKNY, Polo. And it was a very obviously very well layered, functional infrastructure, multi-billion-dollar companies. And after I had left large corporate America, I found that I had this passion for the process. And so I wanted to be able to take that to those that didn't have access to it. So again, giving the independent and emerging designer a space to work with in order to start their brand and to get it up and running, and support them until the finish line.
Oh, that is awesome. I love that. You're creating the opportunity for the up and comings.
Yep.
So what would you say would be the best time to get connected for a brand or a designer to get connected with Fabric to Finish? Like at what part in their journey?
Well, it's interesting. We cater to all shapes and sizes of businesses. So ideally, from the front end, once you've gotten Jalen under your belt and got your trademarks all sorted, that's an ideal time to come to us, because you've got all your IP, everything is protected, and then you're ready to rock and roll. It could be, I just had a baby and I can't fit into my jeans anymore, and I want to do a post-maternity mom jean, and I'm a stay-at-home mom and I don't know what to do. So can someone take my idea and bring it into 3D, bring it to life? So there's no rules or rhythm of who is eligible. The front end, the startup, the baseline is always the best time to come. Otherwise, it's a rescue and recovery mission, and we're fixing other people's unfortunate bad work.
Yeah, no, that's definitely good to know. And I love that you kind of tapped in on like wherever you are on your journey, it's good to jump in and get that help.
Yep.
One thing I'm interested in, just kind of being in fashion myself, how much would you say of your budget as a fashion brand should be allocated towards working with you guys at Fabric to Finish?
Well, it's actually a great conversation, which takes more than the time we have for the panel, which is, why I'm accessible after the event for those interested. Obviously there's a budget that has to be put into place for digital media, strategy, advertising, law, and infrastructure, operations. But building the structure of a collection is the only thing that's going to build stability for longevity. So if you do not have a proper, well-designed garment, a proper, well-fit garment, a well-sourced garment, beautiful fabric, functionality, cost intelligence, right? Does it make sense to pay that much? You're not going to have a company. It's not going to be worth stepping out there. So, do you know what I mean? So ultimately, the budget, I don't know, is it 50%? I really don't know. I mean, it takes a village to put a collection together. If you really want to get specifics, we can certainly entertain that offline with anyone who's interested in talking about specific financials of it. And I'd be happy to walk them through the process and look at a cost analysis budget for sure.
Perfect. Okay, no, that sounds good. It sounds like that is a very big conversation. So for anybody that wants to have like a one-on-one chat or kind of dive into that a little bit more with Jamie, like she said, she's super available. And while we're on that subject, how can they reach out to you, Jamie?
It's very easy through our website, actually, fabrictofinish.com. They can DM us on our Instagram handle at fabrictofinish, spelled with the T-O. I believe also the number 2, but you'll see the red logo, which is right in my screen here. So you won't confuse it with anything else that's ambiguous. So we respond to messages immediately, and please don't hesitate to reach out for sure.
Love that. So kind of back to Jamie a little bit, at what point did you feel like this was your calling to kind of get this business going and know that this is the direction that you wanted to go in?
Well, several years ago, I was part of a very large company that shut down abruptly. It was a very big French luxury company that owned all the licenses for the designer children's wear brands that most of us have worn or shopped for. And at that time in the market, it was 2006, I decided that I wanted to be meaningful to companies. I didn't want to be part of a corporate layoff. I was a very high senior executive that always seemed to be dropped once the division was dropped or once retail performance was below target. And so they dropped key people, obviously, budget cutting. And I went out to seek the opportunity with, I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always been one to, have the passion for creating and the education that I had from the industry of starting up companies. I was part of the startup team for the Tommy Hilfiger women's line, men's and women's jeans line. And so I was always intrigued with the process of getting stuff done. And so once this licensing company, this luxury licensing company closed down, I went off to the Paris fabric shows as an independent contractor and ultimately set up shop. And it was me really knocking down the doors of opportunity that didn't exist. There wasn't a white space that was filled in with this market before. And I apologize. I'm sorry for this distraction. My old lady, apologize. And so I realized at that point that I wanted to be meaningful to people that didn't have access. And that's what it's become. So I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an educator. I was listening intently what Jalen was saying, same story. She's very much of an educator. It's a process that you have to go through. It's not an easy one and done. It doesn't just come out perfectly baked out of the oven once you put it in. It's a process. It's a very tumultuous ride that you get on when you go and venture into this. So I'm kind of the counselor, the ship captain, the head of logistics, head of expectations, chief expectation manager, essentially, because it's not an easy ride. And so, I'm passionate about starting things up to see them grow. And that's kind of the long way of saying that's where it all started. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned how, this can be a rough road. Kind of didn't know what it was when you were starting, but you went for it. What are some of the challenges that you faced in kind of getting this all going and, just helping people in the way that you are?
Challenges, again, is another panel topic. Listen, startup companies, a lot of them don't have cash flow. So there's a challenge, if we're doing the labor and someone's not paying the bills, that's a challenge. As I say to many people now, 15 years later, I am not a non-for-profit. I'm not the Red Cross. I would love to be, but I'm not. And so people have to be cash fluid, cash liquid when they're coming in to dive in. Other challenges, production orders coming in off spec, factories absolutely screwing up. An entire production shipment coming in from India for an organic children's wear line launch that had so many missteps that it was unsalvageable. So these are big challenges. That's why a lot of oversight and QC and minutia tracking and day-to-day oversight, OCD management is really what we do. That's really all it is, So there's so many pitfalls and so many accidents. Colors could be attached incorrectly. Trims can be sewn upside down. Zippers can be malfunctioning. The waterproof taping is done under the wrong temperature settings because the sewer or the laborer that day was in a rush to get home for dinner, and the goods ship and customer in Portland, Oregon wears it, and water seeps through the seams, and we find that all the styles on that lot were ill performing and they get returned. I mean, manufacturing is a big deal. It's a very big deal. So it's a tough thing to go on and do it on your own, which is why we set up what we're doing, because people think that it's a DIY situation. People think that, well, it's like IKEA. I can go in, build a shelf, and put it up and make it happen. It doesn't work that way. It's not, there's no parts, there's no diagrams, there's no pegs that you get. It is an iteration after iteration, iteration. It will never be perfect. It will always be late, and there will always be a problem.
Oh my gosh. I
Sounds
hope you guys
exciting,
hear
huh?
that out. I hope you guys hear this out there, how essential it is to work with a company like Fabric to Finish. Like, who I can't even imagine all that goes on with that. But that's why you guys are so important and so essential, so that you can be that, be that person in that space for these designers and these brands. That's super amazing.
To your point, and just to expand on it, again, I think independence and entrepreneurship is so remarkable, and I value that in people. But you have to know what you're not good at.
Exactly.
You have to know what you don't know. And I have that conversation with every person that comes in our door. Because if they want to steer the ship, it's not going to work. If you want to do this on your own, I oftentimes say it's like going into surgery. I'm not going to wake up midway and tell the doctor, no, I got this. I'll suture myself up. Doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? I'll be
Yeah.
left to bleed out under that circumstance. That's why the experts do what they do. And you have to understand that and value that. And also do what you're great at. Do what you're great at so that the company can flourish. If you're coming in and you have this beautiful marketing strategy background, or you are the face of the business, or you're the branding person, or you're the print director, then do great at that and focus really on what your strength is, and let the other people manage the rest of the tumult, which is really what it comes down to.
I love that. That is literally something that I live by, you know, dive into your expertise. So I love that you mentioned that. One thing I do want to see is if we can kind of if you can share with us a few of the brands that you've worked with through Fabric to Finish that that they have sprouted and become.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot. There's very many. One of my first clients actually was Rebecca Minkoff. I think most of the
Oh,
women
wow.
on this call know Rebecca for leather and accessories. And so she ventured into her first ready-to-wear collection, and we were right there at the front end of it. So that's kind of one of the biggest names. Everyone else is all direct-to-consumer startup. A big brand that we launched, designed, developed, sourced, produced, North and Mark, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful men's tailored performance collection. Rosie Pope Maternity, that lovely English woman that had the reality show on Bravo.
Cool.
Callie Beth Children's Wear, House in the Clouds. We do pet apparel, which it would be lovely to put one of mine in a constraint jacket right about now. Gosh, my head is fogged. All the brands that we've worked with are on our website, so that's a great place if people are interested to see product. We handle every product. Nothing is off limits except footwear. But children's, organic, performance, activewear, tailored runway. I mean, my first client was Diane von Furstenberg in the beginning, where I ran her creative director's ready-to-wear collection. So very top-end women's ready-to-wear stuff that was shown at London Fashion Week. So top-end, very low-end, mass market, all across the board.
Awesome. Oh my God. You just named some great brands. That's super awesome to know that you guys came in there and you worked with them. Absolutely amazing. Being in the fashion industry and working in it for years now, I would love to know your input on like the state of the fashion industry these days. I know we've gone through a lot of changes, especially because of COVID. So how do you feel about the state of fashion right now, or kind of how we're maneuvering through?
Well, it's an interesting thing. A year ago today, when I was on my back with a high fever with COVID, mind you, I wasn't really thinking about fashion. I was just thinking about surviving. But I think that now is this pivotal time in the industry to redefine. I think everybody at this point in the calendar, where we've got very much accessibility to vaccine and people starting to crawl out of their slumber and their lockdowns, I think creativity and expression is ready to explode. And so for sure, I think there's new processes in action right now. Obviously, a lot of the big retailers have different protocols. Many stores are closing and opening smaller size stores where you can have fitting technology where you don't have to spend much time in a store anymore. And all this AI work is doing the fit for you and choosing it for you. So it's taking the guesswork out of it. But I think that that's a generational thing. And I think a lot of us who fall above a certain generation line prefer some old fashioned to it. But with regards to fashion itself, I think now is the time. Listen, our business is really starting to boom right now. There's a lot of people out there looking to start something. They have a reason for it. I can't find this in the market, therefore I want to make it, create it, design it. There's still an opportunity out there for product, for specific niche things, if people just put their mind to it. I don't think the pandemic did anything but stimulate our excitement about getting back to life and creating new opportunities in the fashion industry. And it's just now going to be very different in how we expose ourselves to it. You know, obviously the loungewear and all of those comfort clothes that people were buying for their Zoom home offices, obviously was something people were really diving into that and jumping on that that train. But I think for go forward, there's going to be so much expression that comes out of it, and people are now in the trenches putting things together so that they come out in the next 6 to 9 to 12 months. And it's an exciting time. It's scary, but it's exciting.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. After everybody kind of being clammed up in their lockdown, like I know just for me, I'm ready to put on an outfit. Like I'm sitting at home with a sparkly jacket, blazer dress on. Like
you gotta find
I know.
No, but seriously though, I think, listen, the world took a hit, fashion took a hit, retail took a hit. But I think the joy of getting back to our life will guide us into, you know, people will be more comfortable going out, people will be more comfortable spending. And I don't think you have to spend anything to have an idea. You just have to now be able to execute that idea and be able to know how to put it into action. And that does take time, it does take money. But people are very resourceful now. People have also saved their money, which is another good thing. Another benefit of being locked at home, you're not spending on travel, food, entertainment, movies, miscellaneous, things that are a waste of, you know, and you realize, look what I waste my money on, right? In a normal week, right? How many times? So I think there's great opportunity in our industry. And I'm feeling the buzz now for sure. Our phone is ringing off the hook. That's for sure. That's a good sign.
That's a great sign. Well, as we are wrapping up, I want to thank you so much, Jamie, for giving us some insight on what you do and the manufacturing part of the business. Fabric to Finish is an amazing company. One more time, I would love for you to just let everybody know where they can follow you and get in contact with you guys at Fabric to Finish.
Well, thanks again. And I apologize for the interruption of this little nugget here. You can find us on the internet at fabrictofinish.com and on social at fabrictofinish with the TO. And I look forward to hearing from anyone on this wonderful experience who are interested in talking shop, kind of bouncing some ideas together. You know, I'm a creative thinker as well and a visionary, and it's always nice to have great ideas and give direction. So it would be my pleasure to be able to hear what's going on out there. So thank you for this wonderful opportunity. And again, I'm sorry for this old lady's distraction. She wasn't intended. Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's absolutely okay. Make sure you guys drop any questions that you have for Jamie. We'll make sure that they get answered. And also, you can also always reach out to her. She is definitely open to helping you guys. And I'm so glad I got to meet you and we got to chat. But yeah, we are about to hop into another break, you guys. Again, thank you so much, Jamie. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Have a good one.